everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today you're not going to have to compete with Fortnite, but people cutting the grass outside. But I wanted to get going with this video. So today is the first in my series of Foundation Fridays, and it is absolutely insane how many foundations I've collected along the route. As I've told you before, I get very bored. I like to try new things, and so I've just collected so many, but it's really great because it's going to encourage me to rotate even more my foundations and use them up. Now I can't remember, but quite a while back, when this really started to show this hyperpigmentation, I was getting quite self-conscious about it, and I was looking at solutions to cover it up very quickly. And I went through a phase of getting a lot of sets on QVC with Tarte, and this is the one that I'm going to review today. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-hour full coverage foundation. Okay, I did actually get a primer which has also got coverage, but I'm not going to put that on because I want you to see what this looks like on its own, because it does cover a lot. I've used a primer this morning. I've used Emma Hardie's Amazing Face Protect and Prime because it's basically got an SPF 30 in it. I got that for free in a kind of what I was talking about yesterday, a try me out set which had cleanser and facial oil, and basically this worked out free in the set, so it was a really good bargain. So sometimes when you get the try me out sets, they'll throw in a full size of something and you'll realise it's really good value. Now with QVC that is certainly the case. So with the Amazonian Clay foundation you can get it on its own, but I got it with the brush, and you will have seen me using this brush. I use it with a lot of foundations, especially when they're full coverage, because it is so good at blending in full coverage foundations. So let me tell you a bit about the Tarte Amazonian Clay. So the information on it is that it's oil free, it's vegan, and it's matte, and it promises 12 hours of wear. It says that it's instant full coverage, it has a matte finish and oil control. So if you've got oily skin, you know I've got an oily T-zone, it's a very good choice. Cake free and comfortable formula, lasts for 12 hours without settling into fine lines or creasing, and it helps balance your complexion. Okay, I have got this also in the stick formula, which I may review a bit later on Foundation Fridays. But today we're doing full coverage. Hopefully this shade which I'm using, which is, I can't read it anymore, honey, medium honey, is still going to be okay for me, but I can always bronze up. I also got, at the time in a set, I got the Amazonian Clay waterproof concealer, which I haven't used for ages, so I'm going to use that to go with it. And I got the Amazonian Clay CC under eye corrector, which is fantastic, and I'm going to show you that. It just looks wonderful in terms of correcting my under eye darkness. Okay, and each of these products came with a brush. The only thing is remembering which was which. Now I remember that this brush came with this because it's got a little this needs cleaning. It's got a little beauty blender, and then a brush at the other side, but you can take the blender off and put it into your handbag. I'm going to clean that in a minute and be right back because it doesn't look very clean. And then the under eye corrector came with this brush, which is a good brush, but I'm not sure that it's the right brush for under your eyes. It just seems a little bit too much. The bristles are quite hard, but it is good. I think the idea was that it got under your eyes like that, but I do think it drags a little bit too much. But it is a very good brush. I just not sure I'd use it for what they want me to use it for. Okay, so back to the foundation. Let's put this on, and then I will go and clean the brush for that concealer before I put that near my eyes. Okay, so it's a very thick foundation, which you will see, and you really don't need a lot, as you will see. So you can dot it or you can pick it up with the brush. What I'm going to do is dot it round so that I've got it evenly on my skin, because if I pick it up with the brush, then I tend to need to use more. Just going to aim for a little bit more around that area, but you will see that this is very good coverage. So keep an eye on that hyperpigmentation as I blend this in. So you may not need this level of coverage if you don't have hyperpigmentation like me. But if you do, I would definitely recommend this one. There's a few high coverage ones which I'll be covering over the next few weeks. If you're interested in high coverage, let me know. If you're interested in medium coverage, I can kind of fine tune which ones I do next. And then, as with all foundations, high coverage or not, I always put a little bit more and I stipple it into where that hyperpigmentation is. And a little bit over my nose. Now, although they call it matte, I wouldn't say it makes you completely flat. As you can see, I've still got a bit of shine. That may be a little bit to do with the primer, but it doesn't make you so matte that you look completely flat, which is good. Just stipple some on my chin there. Okay, so that is the foundation. As I said, I'm using Medium Honey. They do come in an awful lot of shades. QVC don't do all the shades. So if you're finding it difficult to get a really good match, then you can order directly from the Tarte website. But be aware that you're not going to get the brush thrown in for free. And this brush is fantastic. This is definitely worth, if you're getting it, get it in the set with the brush, because that brush is fantastic, really is. Now I'm just going to go and clean this beauty blender and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I've cleaned it with a little bit of antibacterial soap. You can use, they do specialist cleaners for beauty blenders, but I just use antibacterial soap and then squeeze it out on a towel, and it's now damp, which is what I want. So before I put the concealer on, I would like to show you this under eye corrector. to show you what a difference this has made. Now this one is in medium tan, and you will see here that it has been very well loved, and it has the shade for me that just works. And I think that is the key with these under eye correctors, is to get the shade that works for you. Now it's quite thick, so you'll see I'm pressing it, so I'm warming it up with my finger so that it blends, because it is quite thick and I don't want to be rubbing it in, but I want to warm it up so that it doesn't end up looking too cakey underneath. Now can you see how that has colour corrected? And what I like about this as well is it does colour correct some of that where that hyperpigmentation is popping through. See that little spot? And it's colour corrected it. Okay, so let me do the other eye. I think what I'm going to do is do the Wayne Goss technique of blotting, because this is quite thick and emollient, just to make sure that I've taken that top layer of oil from it. Okay, and I'm going to use the Amazonian Clay Concealer. Now, I haven't used this for quite some time, which probably means that it wasn't as good as some of my others. But it may just be that I got other things and forgot about it. So I'm just going to stroke in the top layer over there so that I make sure that any germs that were sitting on the top have gone. I have got a spray as well that I spray my makeup with. I will show you that in a minute. Very, very good. You just spray and it disinfects your makeup. Probably could do with doing a video on that. Let me know if you want me to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to dot this here and here. It's very handy kind of device for taking out and about with you. Again, this is very thick, and this is the beauty blender that it comes with. So I'm just going to dot it on with this. Okay, I am going to get some tissue paper. I'm going to blot this, and I am going to put some powder over the top. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to blot my under eye just to get rid of that top layer of oil, because I find that this tip of Wayne's has been a real game changer for me. You will see it doesn't take off the concealer, it just seems to help it to set before you put your powder on. You see, just a slight imprint and that's it. And then I'm going to be using my Becca under eye powder. And dot that on. And I'm going to put a little bit, because my eyelids are looking a bit oily. So I'll put a little bit on the lids. And then I'm going to use, as with all the foundation reviews that I'm going to do, I'm going to use the RCMA No Colour powder rather than some of my other powders, as you know, are foundations in themselves, powder foundations, or they've got colour in them. So the good thing about the RCMA is it's no colour. It's going to show you the foundation as you see it, rather than maybe being a bit more misleading. So I'm just going to, I have got a bigger brush, that one, yes. This one is my blush brush, but I find it's really soft for putting on powder. I'm just putting this all over today so that you can see how it sets with powder. And then on the middle. Okay, I'm now going to zoom in so that you can see this in all its glory. And then I'm going to go off, do my makeup for the day, and come back and I will show you what it looks like a bit later. Okay, so here we go. Okay, see you in a minute with a full face of makeup. Hi everyone, that's me done. I'm going to put details of what I used underneath in the description bar. I do love, it's reminded me, I do love Tarte lipsticks, but there is a big but. I love Tarte lipsticks. They always look really moisturising, really age-defying, beautiful, and they last for about 2 seconds before sliding off. But if you're having a picture done at a wedding and you don't mind topping it up throughout the day, definitely Tarte lipsticks, but that is the only downside. So this one is called Rosy Nude. It came in a set with the foundation. I got a few things in the set, so I tried to use those things as well today so that it's as many Tarte items as possible. Okay, if you want to see which ones I used, then please have a look in the description bar, and I'll be back later to show you how this wears throughout the day. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye. Hi guys, it's been 4 hours since I put this foundation on, and so I thought I'd check in with you all. I haven't been out yet, but I am going to go out. It's absolutely pouring with rain. So I think this said it was waterproof, so we shall see. I always get a bit oily around my nose, but I have to say with the Amazonian clay, it does look a bit oily, but it doesn't feel slidey. It doesn't, you know, sometimes when you touch a foundation on an oily nose, you can feel the foundation move and you think, quick, I've got to set it again. It doesn't feel like that. Certainly doesn't feel like that on my head. And also, I've got to remember that I did put highlighter down here, so some of it may be highlighter, but around my nose gets very oily and comes away. My chin definitely feels a bit slidey. I didn't, as I said, I didn't set it with the setting spray because I want to see how this foundation lasts on its own. Scandinavian, we know, is a really good setting spray and will prolong the wear of your foundation. But I think, as a lot of you do, that a product should work well on its own, and then of course enhance it with you know, setting sprays and primers. The primer I used was pretty much, it's more of a moisturizer than really anything that's particularly designed to make makeup stick. So it's more like a skincare primer, which is, it's got basically SPF in it, and it's got quite a few essential oils. It says it blurs the appearance of fine lines and pores, but I think certainly by moisturising. So it's not like putting a silicone primer on that's gonna kind of make the pores go away. It's more like a moisturiser. So anyway, let me just zoom in here so that you can see how this is looking. You see I've got this thread vein here. That was due to me being overly zealous in my teens, trying to get rid of my blackheads. I still got open pores, but they're not as bad as they were when I was a teenager. So it's not too bad. I don't like the oil around here. Also, I noticed some of the close-ups, you can still see that pigmentation popping through. It is very difficult to cover that, but there are foundations that do cover it completely. Anyway, so that's my check-in. I'll do one more check-in after I come back from my outing in the rain, and that will probably be at about 8 hours after the foundation's been put on, and we'll see what it's looking like then. All right, see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, I thought I'd do my update now as Jack's out and my other half isn't in yet, so I thought let's do it now. It's now 7 hours since I put this foundation on. I've been out. It wasn't raining when I went out, although my eye was watering a little bit, and it's held up very well. I think this foundation is really good. I remember it was really good, and other things kind of took over. The only thing is I would like it to have covered a little bit more of my hyperpigmentation, but generally it wears quite well. My nose normally gets a lot oilier than that, and it's held up very well. And also I've had my glasses on and I haven't got as much of a ridge. So let me just do a close-up. So it is a very, very good foundation. It may not be one that you want to wear in the summer, but what I do like about this is, although it says it's matte, it still leaves your skin with a bit of a natural glow. Obviously some of this is highlighter, but it does still leave a bit of a natural glow. Obviously the more of a natural glow it leaves, the more it's likely to make you a little bit oily. But I just think that this is the best of both worlds, because some foundations that are very, very matte and very, very oil free can make you look very flat. And I just think this is a very, very good foundation. It's worn very well. It's rubbed off in the normal places that it rubs off on me. But I think it's held up really well during the day. And my eye makeup has stayed on very well. This came in the set. The under eye corrector, let me just zoom in there. It's not creased around lines. Possibly a little bit. Nothing that I would really notice. Obviously people don't come up that close to you. I think it stayed on really well, especially where my eye's been watering. So it's definitely a good foundation. I kind of knew that before I started, but I have since had things like MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof, which I prefer to this. I think it gives me a bit more coverage to this hyperpigmentation, and Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Coverage, which again would definitely give me a little bit more coverage. So it is full coverage, but if you do have a lot of pigmentation, you may find it's not full enough for you. I possibly could have built it up a bit more and perhaps not use the brush. So if you use perhaps with a beauty blender, or you dab it on with your fingers, then you may get more coverage out of this. Definitely very comfortable. Amazonian clay is very good for the skin, and I just think it's a very good all-round foundation. So let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you very soon, and join me next Friday for Foundation Fridays. If there is a particular foundation that you've seen in my little trailer at the beginning that you want me to do next, please shout out and I will listen to all requests. You know that. Okay, take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.